Okay. Hello. So today I will be discussing about the economics of tourism and hospitality. This will be our learning outcomes. At the end of this chapter, you should be able to explain the role of tourism and hospitality in economic development, analyze the economic impact of tourism and hospitality on a destination area, differentiate the direct effects from the secondary effects of tourist expenditures on the economy of the host area, elucidate the meaning of tourism multiplier and its effect on the economy of the host country, describe the undesirable effects of the economic aspects of tourism and hospitality, identify the strategies which can maximize the economic effects of tourism and hospitality. Okay, so the first one would be the role of tourism and hospitality in economic development. So alam naman natin na tourism and hospitality brings positive impacts to the economy of a certain country or of a certain place. So marami siyang benefits, maraming advantages ang tourism and hospitality sa isang lugar o sa isang bansa. Reasons why developing countries have used tourism and hospitality development as an alternative to help economic growth. So bakit nga ba daw ang isang bansa or ang mga bansa ay ginagamit ang tourism and hospitality as a means or as a way para matulungan yung paglago ng ekonomiya nila. So first is, there is a continuous demand for international travel in developed countries. So kung mapapansin natin, after the pandemic, so there are a lot of people who travel from one place to another. Kasi kumbaga parang ang mga tao, they really find enjoyment when they travel. So, nare-relax sila when they travel. And, hindi rin kasi biro yung nangyari na pandemic, lalo na sa ating bansa. Okay? So, hindi lang sa ating bansa, and also to other countries. Diba? So, that pandemic actually made the people anxious. Maraming nagkaroon ng mga anxiety and depression. And then, they have come to realize the importance of traveling. Okay? So there's a continuous demand for international travel in developed countries. With that being said, so alam naman natin na when people travel to a certain place, that place where the people travel really earn. Okay? Kumikita sila by how? Of course, these tourists, they usually check in a hotel. Okay? So, nagbabayad sila ng mga hotel. So, when they check in, they pay in a hotel, the hotel will earn, at the same time, this hotel will be paying some taxes to the government. So, nagbabayad sila ng buwis. So, that way, natutulungan ang bansa. Okay? Sa ganoong paraan. Okay? Alright, next. As income in developed countries increases, the demand for tourism and hospitality also increases at a faster rate. So, for example, ang isang bansa, nagiging maganda yung kanyang kita or ang kanyang revenue or yumayaman ng isang bansa. So, the people, of course, would demand for tourism and hospitality services. So, syempre, pag mayaman ng isang bansa, so ang mga tao na nakatira doon ay okay din ang living nila, ang pamumuhay nila, ang way of living nila. And most of them, they would, of course, travel even domestically, okay, kahit within their country lang. What else? So, most of them, they would spend money in restaurants. So, mapapansin natin, sa kanila, talagang kumakain sila sa restaurant. And then, ano pa ba? bili sila ng bili ng mga produkto. Okay, so for example, for the people who will go to Bicol, okay, so yung mga tourists na pupunta doon, they will buy some products there, sa mga souvenir products, yung mga local products doon. Or if the people would go to Tagaytay, so bibili din sila ng mga produkto sa Tagaytay. Okay, so there's an increased demand for tourism and hospitality. Developing countries need foreign exchange to aid their economic development. Okay, so ito, how does foreign exchange help the economy? Okay, when we say foreign exchange or forex, it is actually the conversion of a one's country currency into another. Okay, so for example, dollar, so papalitan ng peso, okay, so that is foreign exchange. Okay, so every time a tourist visits a country, for example, so they must pay for goods and services using the currency of the host country. For example, American tourist, okay, will visit Philippines. Of course, this American tourists, they should exchange their dollar into peso. Diba? A tourist must exchange the currency of their home country for the local currency. So currency exchange of this kind is one of the demand factors for a particular currency. Okay, so, and then, so yung foreigner, they're going to buy or they're going to spend their money to our country. So, yung dollar nila, na-convert na siya into peso and then they will use that money to spend, for example, to our country. Okay, so it's like transferring funds from one country to the other. So, in that way, yung bansa na pagkakagastusan nila ay magkakaroon ng pagkakataon na kumita through foreign exchange. Kumbaga yung foreign exchange, parang ano siya it's actually like a trading business between countries. Okay, so since trading siya, so yung forex traders, they actually make a profit by trading one currency for another. So, this usually happens when this can be accomplished, for example, by forex traders by purchasing a currency at a discounted rate and then they're going to sell that at a premium. Kaya lang, ang problem sa foreign exchange is it is actually influenced by economic activity. So, kung hindi maganda yung ekonomiya at present ng isang bansa, of course, it will also affect the currency's value. So, for example, kung hindi maganda economy sa Pilipinas, so bumababa din yung value ng Philippine peso. Okay, so meron tayong tinatawag na Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development or OECD. So OECD, it has concluded that tourism and hospitality provides a major opportunity for growth to countries that are at the intermediate stage of economic development and require more foreign exchange earnings. This organization is a recognized international player in tourism. Okay, so ang purpose ng OECD is to build better policies for better lives. Its goal is to shape policies that foster prosperity, equality, opportunity, and well-being for all. Purpose din nila to improve the global economy and promote world trade. And then, according to them, malaki daw ang maitutulong ng tourism and hospitality para sa mga bansa na on the intermediate stage of economic development. There are actually 10 ASEAN countries who are part of this OECD. So we have the Brunei Darussalam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos PDR, Malaysia, Myanmar, and the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. So, all these 10 ASEAN countries participate in OECD committees, working groups, peer reviews, and studies. So, ano nga ba ang role ng OECD sa tourism? So, it actually analyzes and monitors policies and structural changes affecting the development of domestic and international tourism. This OECD, its main priority is to rebuild tourism after the pandemic. Okay, but according to OECD, the tourism sector must become more sustainable and resilient in the future. So the OECD expects more international tourism, to increase. Okay, so mas maging mataas yung percent ng international tourism sa pagdating ng mga taon. Okay, like from 2020 and more. So malaki ang role ng OECD sa tourism industry in the world. So gusto nilang suportahan yung mga tourism businesses in order for them to adapt and survive. They really want to promote domestic tourism and support the safe return of international tourism and more. Differences of tourism and hospitality from international trade. Okay, so ano daw yung pagkakaiba ng tourism and hospitality from international trade? So, alam niyo na naman yung ibig sabihin ng tourism and hospitality, di ba? So, yung international trade, it is the exchange of capital, goods, and services across international borders or territories because there is a need or want of goods or services. Okay, so kumbaga in Tagalog parang pagpapalitan ng kalakal. So yun yung international trade. So ano yung pagkakaiba ng tourism and hospitality from international trade? So in tourism and hospitality, the consumer collects the product from the exporting country, thereby eliminating the freight cost for the exporter, except in cases in which the airline used are those of the tourist receiving country. So, sa tourism and hospitality, for example, a tourist will go to, okay, so for example, the tourist will go to Switzerland, okay, and then when they visit Switzerland, so they purchase some chocolates, for example, mga tsokolate. So, in that way, na-eliminate na yung freight cost. So, yung gasto sa cargo ng Switzerland. So, hindi na kailangang gumastos pa ang Switzerland ng pag-i-export ng product nila, for example, sa Pilipinas. Okay, so for example, Filipino tourist, okay? Filipino tourists, so they will go to Switzerland and then they purchase some chocolates there. So, yung Switzerland, they don't need to spend for cargo sa pag-export ng chocolates nila to the Philippines. Kasi, yung mga Filipino tourists na yung pumupunta doon sa Switzerland. Kasi sa international trade, yung country, exporting country, for example, Switzerland nga, so mag-i-spend pa kasi sila ng pagpapadala ng produkto nila sa isang bansa. Pero ito, ang tourism and hospitality, yung tourist na mismo ang pupunta sa country na yon to purchase the product. Next, the demand for pleasure travel is largely dependent on non-economic factors such as local disturbances, political unrest, and changes in the fashionability of resorts or countries created mostly by media coverage. Okay, so yung demand daw for travel ay nakadepende sa mga non-economic factors. So, kagaya niyan, for example, ang isang bansa na gustong puntahan ng isang tourist ay may problem when it comes to its political aspect. Okay? Nakadepende doon yung pagpunta ng tourist. So, if the country has a problem with politics, okay, o kaya merong pagbabago sa, for example, sa klase ng produkto or ng packages being offered by any resorts or by any countries. So doon dumedepende yung demand for pleasure travel. Pero ang international trade kasi ay it is actually not dependent on these kind of factors. Sa international trade, nakadepende siya sa mga trade policy ng isang bansa, sa mga exchange rate, foreign currency reserves, sa inflation, at saka sa demand. So, for example, kahit ang isang bansa ay merong political unrest or may problem sa politics, okay, so hindi apektado ang international trade. Number 3, by using specific fiscal measures, the exporting or tourist receiving country can manipulate exchange rates so that those for tourists are higher or lower than those in other foreign trade markets. Okay, sa tourism and hospitality kasi, so pwede ang turismo ay gumamit ng iba't ibang specific fiscal measures. For example, tax, okay? Yung pagpapataw ng buwis. Okay, so sa turismo, ang tourism industry, it can actually manipulate this kind of changes. For example, ay tax. So, pwede silang mag-increase ng tax or pwede rin silang mag-decrease ng tax sa bawat tourism product. So, kung gusto nila, they can decrease the tax so at least to increase the tourism demand. Okay, so para mapataas yung tourism demand. Sa turismo din, tourists are allowed to buy in domestic markets at the same price as the local residents. So, ang mga turista, pwede sila makabili ng mga produkto the same price na kung magkano nabibili ng mga local residents. Pero syempre, sa international trade, hindi basta nakakapag-adjust ng price kasi may tendency na malugi sila. Number 4, tourism and hospitality is multifaceted industry that directly affects several factors in the economy. So, for example, yung hotels, shops, restaurants, local transport, entertainment establishment, mga handicraft producers, okay? Not only that, tourism and hospitality also indirectly affects yung mga equipment manufacturers and utilities. Ang international trade, hindi kasi ganun kalawak yung international trade. And even the policies of the government of a certain country actually are considered as barriers yung mga policies ng uh, mga bansa na pag-i-exportan sa international trade. May mga tariffs, may mga export licenses, policies about standardization. So, ganon. Tourism and hospitality brings many more non-monetary benefits and costs than other export industries such as social, cultural, and environmental benefits and cost. So, syempre, ang international trade, wala naman siyang ganong naibibigay ng mga benefits when it comes to social, cultural, and environmental benefits. Pero ang tourism and hospitality, so we know naman ang mga positive impacts niya and yung importance niya na pag-aralan na rin naman natin. Okay, so there are 4 economic impacts of tourism. So the first one is infrastructure development. So tourism provides the government and private sector with the revenue to invest in the infrastructure required for tourism and activities. So sinasabi nga na pag more infrastructure has been developed in a certain country, ibig sabihin maganda yung tourism industry ng bansa na yun. Kasi when we say infrastructure development, so andyan yung mga building of highways, bridges, roads, mga hotel buildings, mga ganyan. So, ibig sabihin, pag marami mga nade-develop na mga infrastructure, ibig sabihin, okay yung tourism industry sa lugar na yon. And, of course, kung okay yung tourism industry, mag-create talaga ng infrastructure kasi in order to cater to the needs of the tourist. Natural resources, tourism can provide incentives for protecting and preserving natural resources and ecosystem. So alam naman natin that tourists travel because they want to see some beautiful places, they want to see some unique things, for example, or resources to a certain country which they don't have. Okay, so ang tendency ng ating bansa, for example, ay syempre mapaganda at maprotektahan ng ating mga natural resources. So, we protect the natural resources to attract more tourists and visitors. Cultural preservation. Tourism also plays a role in preserving historical sites and cultural traditions because tourists also travel to a place to learn about the culture of that certain place. So, kaya din nagtatravel ang mga turista para malaman yung culture ng isang bansa, yung history ng isang bansa. So, usually, itong ating mga heritage sites ay ating pinapreserve, okay, in a way that its authenticity is still maintained. So, kagaya nga ng nasabi ko before, yung mga heritage site sa ating bansa ay hindi siya actually basta pine-preserve or kino-conserve or ne-restore. So, as much as possible, ma-maintain yung authenticity nito and at the same time, they use the same materials which have been used before when building this certain heritage site. So, di ba nasabi ko dati na ang gumagawa niya yung United Architects of the Philippines, Heritage Conservation Society, local government unit, and even the community also participate in cultural preservation. Local entrepreneurship and small business growth. The influx of visitors to a destination can also stimulate the growth of small, locally owned businesses. So, example nito yung mga bike rentals, souvenir shops, Airbnb. Okay, so most of those small businesses, of course, they earn because of the tourist. Direct and secondary effects. So direct means income directly received from tourists by businesses or service providers. Indirect or secondary effects are money used to pay for the creation and delivery of such services and products. So, in order to measure the economic impact of tourism and hospitality on the destination area, it is important to know the direct and secondary effect of visitor expenditures on the economy of the area. Tourist expenditures received as income by businesses such as hotels, restaurants, car rentals, tour operators, and retail shops serving tourists have a direct effect on the economy of the host area. So the term direct means that the income is received directly. Indirect or secondary effects mean that the money paid by tourists to businesses are in turn used to pay for supplies, wages of workers, and other items used in producing the products or direct services bought by tourists. Kumaga parang ano lang yan, parang cycle lang eh. For example, si tourist, nagstay sa isang hotel, and then, of course, so magbabayad sila sa hotel. Okay, so that is income to the hotel received from the tourist. So, pag sinabi namang indirect or secondary effects, yung ibinayad ng tourist ay gagamitin naman for the creation of products or delivery of services. So, for example, gagamitin naman yan sa pagpapasahod, pagpapasweldo sa mga employees kasi employees yung nagpo-provide ng services sa mga tourist. Okay, that's all. Thank you.